Okay, guys, what's happening? Welcome to this Coinmerge space here. We got a joint AMA with Gandalf Crypto. Thanks to Gandalf for joining. I'll throw him the mic invite, even though he doesn't speak on these spaces. Happy to have him on here. Longtime friend. Hey, we got the Lions Den main on here too. I appreciate you guys joining as well as listeners. But either way, trying to get X-Track up here on the speaker panel. I threw them the mic a couple times. They are going to go ahead and present first here today, and and we'll hope that our other project XTC or PVT, sorry, can hopefully get on here towards the back end of this, maybe more towards like 145 or something like that. I know that they had some kind of a contingency pop up that's made it tough for them to be here right at this exact time, but hopefully A1 can keep me up to date on their status and whether they can send a representative on here to speak. But first things first, let's go ahead and do some introductions to get started here today. First things, at the very top of the space, we have a giveaway tweet for X Space. That's $50 in ETH, BNB, or CMOS. We're going to pick one winner. If you follow those instructions, make sure to follow us, follow Web3 Shards, and retweet this space, which is the other main tweet up there at the Jumbotron up at the top. Just make sure to share that out. It looks like we have 63 reposts and 70 likes on it. So super exciting to kind of get to the bottom of what these two projects have to offer. I like the names, like the vibes right off the bat, the logos. So pretty excited to see what these projects are bringing to the table here. We already introduced Gandalf. If you haven't already, throw a follow on Gandalf Crypto, the first avatar in the second row down there. Make sure to check out the pics that he's baking. And, his influence in the crypto space has grown and grown, and he has a really great reputation for just being all business and getting things done and bringing projects to investors, bringing investors to projects. So always happy to have him on here. Click Gandalf Crypto, throw him a follow. Big fan myself. Let's throw the mic over to X-Track just to get a mic check.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. We all good?
Yep, absolutely, man. Sounds good. We'll get an introduction from you in just a second. Actually, we could do that now. If you want to just introduce what your name is or handle on Telegram or whatever, and then just a little bit about your history in DeFi so we could just get to know you a little bit better. That'd be pretty cool to start off.
Awesome. Yeah, super appreciate you guys having us back on for a second time. My name is Sonic Tectonic. My background in the space is as a trader. That's my bread and butter as I trade. So the whole point of the project was to make a utility that I could be proud of as a trader because usually the monthly cost for all the different kinds of utility is quite heavy. So to have all utility under one roof is quite the cost saver, right? So that's the whole goal.
Awesome, man. Yep, excited to get into that in just a second. A little bit about ourselves. We are Coinmerge Technologies. We've been in this industry for coming up on 3 years this summer and going strong. I don't think we're going to go away anytime soon. So Coinmerge is the name you'll see for a long time to come. Please click. I'm not going to talk about our products because this is a presentation for the two projects that we're bringing to the table here today, being a Payvertise as well as X-Track, who again, this is not their first time on here. But if you're interested in promoting with us or otherwise just like what you hear today, make sure to throw us a follow on the C in the top left corner there. All right, with that being said, again, unless I hear something else, we're just going to run this AMA and make sure X-Track, you guys will kind of be the feature until Payvertise comes on here, and then they can go after you guys. So we'll make sure that you guys get the audience that you deserve and make sure we can really deep dive in here. So for those who aren't fully aware of what you guys have done, who weren't on the other AMA or are new listeners, it would be great if you could just start by breaking down X-Track from a top-down perspective, kind of explain the whole ecosystem and everything that you guys are building over there.
Absolutely. So the last time we were on here, we actually didn't have much of an ecosystem. The build was just getting started. Now we have 2 trending feeds, 1 live feed in Telegram, 1 live feed on Twitter, and this is for ETH, right? This is for the ETH chain. We aim on providing cross-chain support. So we'll have a bunch of different live feeds for every chain, essentially. Then we built our web app, right? Our web app is currently in beta for all of our holders. Our holders have been using it now for, I'd say, the last 3 weeks while we make sure that it works and we build additional utility to go for the public release, right? There's going to be a subscription model for the web app. So we're going to be doing a public release here shortly for that. We also, and this web app, sorry, is completely in sync with the previous Telegram bot, right? We started off with just a Telegram bot. So this web app is completely in sync with the alerts that the Telegram bot will provide you. So whatever you do on the web app is reflected on the Telegram bot. And we also built X-Raid. We finally got X-Raid. I think we spoke about it last time we were here, which is essentially a Shield competitor. It is a chat lock Twitter raid tool, and it works phenomenally. We have a bunch of features on there that truly grow a project's Twitter reach. Ourselves, we've been using it for the last week, and our impressions are up to 60,000 this week. So the proof is in the pudding, as they say. This bot is phenomenal for any project to use, completely free to use as well. And that right there sums up our ecosystem to date. And we're working on a sniper bot now that we could integrate with all of our existing tech. And it'll have some features that most sniper bots currently today do not have, but I can't get into detail too much with that because ideas are gold in this space and they get stolen very fast.
Awesome, man. Well, I'd love to start by working kind of backwards with what you had mentioned about with the Twitter impressions. Maybe we could take a deeper dive into how that works and how clients could potentially utilize that, or if it's just kind of for you guys. So maybe you could break that down a little bit more.
Absolutely. So no, it's not just for us. X-Raid can be invited to any group, right? It's just .me X-Raid tech bot, and you invite that to your group. The docs are included right on it. The reason that it helps grow reach so much compared to competitors is simply the speed, right? We have the ability to plug in a Twitter @ now that can be your project @ right? If you just wish for your tweets to be alerted directly into the chat, or it can be any influencer, right? So what we've been doing, we've been setting sometimes an influencer @ in our bot, right, in our chat, and we'll get all of their tweet alerts, right? As well as we can use the normal X-Ray tool for holders, but I'm just trying to explain from a non-holder perspective. If you're just trying to use X-Ray, right? You can put any Twitter @ into the bot, and you'll get all their tweet alerts in your chat. And then it's a simple click to start raid, because we have default settings. You can set your like, retweets, replies, bookmarks, and cash tags. We include cash tags in them, right? Because the more your cash tag gets tweeted, the better your project exposure. It's that simple, right? So you can set your default settings. You can set a project Twitter account. You can set your cash tag. So anytime that someone tweets your cash tag, you will get an alert directly in the Telegram chat, right? And you can set a minimum follower account for these alerts, right? If you're a bigger project and you don't want accounts under 1,000 followers spamming your chat with alerts, you just set that. Then accounts with less than 1,000 followers, you will not be alerted for them. You'll only be alerted for the bigger accounts tweeting about your project, right? So all that in combination, that's why we've been doing so good with our exposure, because we set an account in there. The alert comes up instantly. I click on the tweet. I make a reply with our
Hey, sorry, you suddenly cropped out here. Extract, we lost you. Not sure if your internet just went off or you're otherwise struggling to connect, but I'll just give it a second. All right, I see some connecting issues on their end, some X-space difficulties, as is tradition. Oh, here we go. All right, hey man, sorry about that. Yep, we can hear you now. You're back.
out because I kind of rambled on there, my friend.
Yeah, no worries. I figured that you were on a roll, and then it just like halfway through it just kind of cut out. So, I mean, you had mentioned, you can install this bot into your room. It's got all these different features in terms of basically whenever hashtags are used, whenever ats are used, whenever tweets from the people that you want are on, and then that's about where you cut out. So you were continuing kind of about the utility.
Okay, so yeah, so these alerts, right? When you set your cash tag and you set your and you set your minimum follower count, the minimum follower count will be for cash tag alerts. So if you don't want people spamming your chat that have less than say 2,000 followers because you're a bigger project, you can just set that at 2,000, and you'll get no alerts unless the account has over 2,000 followers, right? So those are all the different settings, and you get these alerts directly in chat. So for example, right, we'll use Gandalf because he's an absolute chat. We can set Gandalf's in the extract bot. Anyone can once it's invited to your group. Any tweet that Gandalf makes, you will get an alert directly in your Telegram group. There's a button to view the tweet, and then you can either start the raid directly on the tweet if you want. There's a start raid button as well. The way we do it is we view the tweet, we reply with our project account, and then an alert from our project account comes into the chat as well, and we raid that, right? Or you can do it the old-fashioned way. You can just copy the URL, and you can do /command X raid and start a raid like that, right? But it's the speed. That's why our exposure has been growing so great on Twitter over the last little bit, is because we can raid faster than anybody else can raid. We have default settings as well, right? So you don't have to enter your likes, retweets, and all that stuff every single time. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is enter it one time, and you can change your default settings at any time, right? You enter them one time, and then when you click start raid, the raid started. When you do /X raid and you put URL in, the raid is started. It's that simple. And we have options for you to turn any of this on and off at any time. And options, you can turn off the Twitter app. You can turn off hashtag. You can turn off minimum follower count, and you can turn off the default settings. So it's as good as it gets in terms of having to continue taking these suggestions as well as implementing own ideas to make sure that we stay the market leader in the space.
Yeah, no, I like that you could turn things on and off, because it seems like, compared to maybe some competitors out there, and I think I did share a tweet up there at the top that kind of has that graphic where you kind of compare yourself to some competitors and do one of those classic checkmark X graphics up there. There are a lot of features, and maybe a certain token who wants to implement this raid bot into their Telegram doesn't necessarily want to hear about influencers. Right, so they just don't have to. They can exempt those types of things. They can kind of pick and choose and customize exactly what they want the bot to be in terms of their user experience.
Absolutely, that's the main goal, right? Is not everybody wants to raid in the same way, so this gives complete freedom to whoever the admin is in that group and how they want to raid, which is nice, right? And we're going to keep adding on to these. We have a few pretty good ideas down the pipeline for how to maintain X-Raid as being a market leader in features. But yeah, that pretty much covers X-Raid. And it's free to use. Free to use, docs are included right on it. And if ever you have any questions, feel free to join our Telegram. I'm even happy to come into your group and help set the bot up if you need me to do that.
Nice. And I assume that investment groups also would be interested in potentially using this?
Absolutely.
Or do you just see it kind of as just tokens?
Well, no. If you want to use it, right, to just track one account, that's fine. But with our holder tool, you can here gold tier able to track to 80 accounts, right? So I mean, sure, if you want to just use it for that, but our holder tool, that's mainly what that's for, right? The tweet alerts from the one account gives the free users pretty much a little taste of what our holder tool can do in terms of data and information, right? So you can use it if you want yourself, absolutely, in a group for just the one account. Elon, right? I even put that in the documentations, right? Elon Musk, sometimes he's hot. If you just want to plug in Elon Musk and use him in your private group for when Elon Musk tweets, go for it, absolutely. But our holders tool allows you to do that with 80 people, right? To your own preferred settings. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and then my other question is up front, at least at this stage of where you guys are in your roadmap. I assume you're still in phase 1, or would you call yourselves in phase 2 yet? Based on your kind of roadmap on your website.
Well, our website's going to be completely redone. Can you guys hear me? Just making sure I'm not cutting out again.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the website is getting completely redone. I would say based on terms of the website, we're like the additional roadmap is almost complete. I would say we're more in phase two of a roadmap, right? With we're that sniper bot. It's up to the community. So that's why we don't really have much of a phase two roadmap outlined completely, because we really do take those community suggestion ideas and incorporate them into our own ideas as we go. And sometimes some of those ideas, another idea, which leads to another idea. And roadmap had in mind, well, you've gone in a different direction, but guess what? Your community's happy and the tech is still getting built. Right? So and the roadmap on the website, I'd say it's essentially we have a share claim yesterday. 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, the revenue share claim. We did a token airdrop to holders who sent in their tokens for our relaunch, because we had a relaunch. Our deployer wallet got compromised and we had to, it was the only option. But all of our holders, absolutely Chads, 90% of them sent in their tokens, helped us do the relaunch. And most of them, many of them still held all the way to the 15th here of January, where we distributed 200,000 extract tokens amongst all of the holders that in their tokens to relaunch, and we're still holding. So in terms of that roadmap, yeah, I think we've crushed that roadmap. Now we're moving on to a phase two where community decides what the next utility is that's going to be built.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of times, I think a lot of projects, investors don't understand this, that when you start off a project and you build a roadmap, that's like based on the events that happen and when things change. Sometimes the roadmaps need to change, the priorities need to change. Some things work, some things don't. Sometimes the community really wants a new feature now, and then those types of things change. So nice to hear that there's going to be a website overhaul. Although I do think your website as is looks really good, so definitely not throwing shade on that in its current capacity. What is on the top of the bucket list for your guys' development right now, whether that be a feature or some other utility, a brand new utility that you guys are working on?
Well, yeah, that would be the sniper bot that I mentioned a few times. It's getting up
Oh,
next,
right, yeah.
But right now, that's like our next utility. Right now, our main focus and what the dev's working on presently today is getting web app ready for public release. We allowed the community to vote on what they thought fair subscription pricing would be to start off, and we're going to implement that subscription pricing that they propose to try to onboard as many users as we can. It's pretty competitive. It's quite cheap. And our holders are going to be getting the chance to earn 50% of the revenue generated from through our code program. Right? So every utility we have in mind, the sniper bot, fees generated. Sniper bot is going to be a public utility, free to use. We have some extra goodies for holders that we cook up. But it's going to be a free-to-use tool. We're going to try to make it as competitive as we can. We're trying to compete with the market leaders, essentially. And the fees generated from that, well, the holders are going to get a portion of that as well. Everything that we build has holders. How we build this, also use this to generate revenue for holders. Like paying holders is a key goal, aside from using good tech. If the tech is good, people are going to hold and use it. But if the tech is good and they hold and they use it and they get paid to use your tech, well, now you got a system that's worthwhile, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think this is kind of a nice segue to kind of give a top-down overview of the token as a whole. As well, I did actually have one question about the web app I did want to address. What do you know? Are you aware of the tech in terms of like the front end and back end you guys are using? How long is that going to be in development for? And how has that process kind of been?
So you're asking how long essentially until the app goes public?
Yeah. Is it like, does it seem like it's going to be a multiple quarter kind of thing, like a half a year, or like what's kind of the overall timeline on that?
No, the web app's been built, my friend. If you want, I could talk to another access code and you could check it out for yourself. Yeah, no, it's built. People have been using it since early December. There's just more to be built. There's always more to
Oh,
be
right.
built
Yeah.
with us. It's built.
Okay. So yeah, I got it. So your main focus is continuing to develop that web app, but you're also on the side building a sniper bot, as well as some of these other features and tools.
Yeah, because we want a few extra features. Like we want the code RAM completely working, right? Want to make sure you're still here, right?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Just gonna check in just because I don't know if what my internet's doing to me today. So yeah, we make sure the real code program is completely in place and working, right? So that as soon as we go live and our holders start referring people, that can be working. And we want to add another page. We want to increase our follower count to 80 for gold tier, 35 for silver tier. There's a list that's pinned in our Telegram chat. A few things that need to get done for us to feel happy with our web app going public, and like where we feel that people are going to want to pay for the subscription, actually lies the tech, right? I've used this analogy many times in the project. You don't put a car with 3 wheels on the showroom floor, right? Yeah, you just want the car to have 4 wheels before you put it on the showroom floor. Well, our car has 4 wheels. It's knocking at the door of 4 wheels, and those 4 wheels are Pirellis on 4 autos, and this is a Lamborghini, and we're going very, very fast. So now is where you'll see a big marketing push from us when that gets released. Don't quote me. I'd like to say it'll be done within the next 7 to 10 days. We'll be released public web app, and then we can focus fully on the sniper, knock the sniper out, and probably like 3 weeks, and then start working on other things. You got to understand, we built X-Raid. Our dev built X-Raid, right? The best raid bot in the game in a week and a half. 1.5 weeks for all the features. 0.5 weeks. So
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's always been surprising to me is when you find a really good developer, how quickly they can work and build. Whereas like a less experienced developer will kind of dirtle around and try to figure out how this works, and I've heard the expression before, firefighter devs, where they build something with bad architecture and then they spend all their time putting out fires to try to kind of fix it up and take it to the next place. So impressive timelines already with what you guys have built. And obviously you've got a really set of capable hands behind the technology there and the coding. So sorry, all those things, if you pay for a subscription through you guys, I assume that would be then ad free. Or will there still be ads even if you're paying for a subscription for this bot?
Well, the ads are just on the side for like the Telegram bot. As long as a holder, there will never be ads on the Telegram bot. But the web app, there's advertising on the side, and we don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. It's a small, tiny little strip. It's not in anyone's face, right? It's just a tiny little section. We don't think it's a bad idea to let our holders and even our subscribers know the projects that are advertising with us, right? So, yeah, no,
I think that makes
if
a
you
lot
want
of
to turn them
sense.
off, they'll have the ability, right? There'll be a little option for holders to turn on and off that little sidebar, but they'll be by default on, right? You'll have to turn them off if you're a holder. But yeah, no, if you're a subscriber, you'll have advertisement, right? Ad free is only a holder thing. If you're a subscriber, have advertisements.
Yeah, I think that was my point, was more on the bot than the web app. I think every website in all of history has advertisements on it. I think it's just so I don't think that there's any problem with that. But yeah, I was asking more about as a bot, as like a raid bot, because I know that one thing that for us sometimes keeps us from utilizing things is that there's ads at the bottom, and then that's like interfering our Telegram as all these ads being placed. So simply by holding extract tokens, you can get that removed, or am I misunderstanding that?
For X-Raid, well, the point of X-Raid is kind of advertisements, right? So we've thought of a few different things, a few like different things for that, right? Because like advertisement revenue, 100% of it goes to holder. So our goal is to bring that advertisement in, and bring that advertisement revenue in. You can't be telling projects like, hey, well, we do groups that want ads, so their ads are shut off and this and that. That wouldn't work to make money for the holders. So what we're thinking of doing, right, for holders to try to devise, nothing to do with ads, but we're thinking of giving our holders advertisement discounts. So if any of our holders, or if a project founder decides, hey, extras, we'll get advertisement discounts on our thing. So they'll be able to advertise their own projects on X-Rate and on the Extract ecosystem for a discounted price. But to remove ads, that is something right now I would have to say no. It's something I could discuss. I'd be happy to discuss in the future with the community if it's something they really want, right? Because I'm open like that. But right now, as of right now, no. It's going to be ads. No matter who you are, you're going to see ads, right? You can have your own ads.
That's no worries. Obviously, that's also traditional within bots. Although I do know some people would take money from the project, like a paid to be like, yeah, I would use this. I'll pay you to remove ads. But that would also involve a whole separate set of code and a whole fork on the code base and the bot and things like that. And so obviously that doesn't make sense for you guys to do right now. And I don't think it's been a barrier to access for, say, like Chatter Shield or some other competitors. It doesn't seem to have hindered their success at all, or any of the major bots. So again, I'm just kind of probing and asking questions here. So let's segue, if you can, and talk a little bit about the holders we already have in a couple different capacities, how holding the token can functionally have a lot of benefits for you. There's a revenue share element to it. But, again, for people who haven't heard about Extract, maybe you could break down all the reasons to hold, the taxes on the token, the blockchain, and all those elements.
For sure. So the taxes are 5 and 5, and the reason they're 5 and 5, they were originally 3 and 3, but they're 5 because now we give 50% of the total taxes back to the holders in revenue share, right? So we're still keeping the same 3 that before, but it is something that generates revenue for the holders on a consistent basis. So that's one reason to hold, like you said, is the revenue share. The utility for Twitter aggregation is bar none, probably the best in the game. And if it's not, well, we're getting really close to it. We have features that nobody else has, which allows you to make plays earlier and more informed than a lot of other people could without using the tool, right? With the Telegram bot being in sync with the web app. Lots of videos on YouTube if you guys need a visual, right? I'd love to show you guys right now, but if ever you need some visuals, we got lots of videos on our YouTube channel. We essentially just have tech that aggregates all of Twitter, right? You got the Telegram bot that'll give you the alert you want. You got the web app that has different feeds and has different, the X-Rate bot that will generate revenue for you. You have our live feeds that are going to generate revenue for you, because 100% of advertisement revenue means 100% of advertisement revenue. Once our Twitter feeds grow to enough, we will have ads on those feeds as well. All of that will be going back to the holders. So why should you buy Extract token? Well, our community is chat. I know there's a bunch of holders that have been there since day one because we did DMs. They give me suggestions. I've listened to their suggestions. I've implemented some of their suggestions. And I don't think they're going anywhere for a very, very long time. We had a small revenue this first time. Advertisements and subscriptions aren't in place yet. And not a single person complained. Everyone's happy. Everyone is the vision, right? Now that we're in and they see how fast it gets built, they see the vision. So I would say if you're dubious or you're unsure about Extract, I would say hop into our community. Don't even ask me. Just ask the people who've been here since day one. They could answer questions as well as I could. And you'll get a more of a community perspective from it. Don't take my word for it. Take the community's word for it. Because point in time, how far we are in our journey, every single community member and holder will tell you to buy Extract, and they'll have plenty of reasons. So yeah.
Nice, man. I would also love to know, sometimes I just like to talk about this because I think it gives perspective to people, because some people do prefer to buy tokens at certain market caps or liquidity ratios or things like that. Could you give everyone here a brief history of when Extract token launched and some of kind of the ups and downs from start to now, and then also what market cap you're currently at?
Okay, so we launched, I believe it was October 24th, right? And we started at I think of like 4K market cap. We went all the way up to, I believe it was a 750 cap. We're hovering around 550 when we announced the relaunch, because our wallet compromised, right? We were hovering around 550, and then we obviously had a sell-off, right? Some people panicked. It is what it is. Nothing but respect and love to them. Champions, I wish they were. Some obviously didn't like the launch announce. They got they got a little bit sold off. We went to about 180K, something like that. Odai stepped in. Really good right now. We've been talking a long time, and he's like, this is great buying. This is a great buying. He's like, people are worried about the relaunch. He aped. Few other people decided to jump in. We got it back up, and then right before relaunch, because I told everybody I would. Right, I think we're at I don't know. We were at like a 300K market cap. Slammed 2.5 ETH into the chart, got us up, and that's where I said, everybody stop, stop all. We sold from our deployer wallets, right, that had the token sent to them, drained our own liquidity. And when we started back, we decided 200K token to distribute to the Chads that sent us tokens in so that we could relaunch, right? So by doing that and pairing it with the exact same liquidity, we wound up starting back off at 650K market cap. And that's where you see this new chart here with our contract that's posted on all our socials and everything, starting off at the 650K mark. And it goes up, and then, it unloads. And right now we're about 330K, and we've been ranging around this area for about last week. So if you want my trading analysis, this thing looks primed for a pump.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's always good to kind of get some of that history and that narrative, and for traders to kind of understand where it came from, where it's going. And obviously, people like, a lot of traders like to load market caps because they like to feel like they're getting in early, whereas other traders' strategy is more to FOMO in to whatever sending in the hopes that it goes to 100 bajillion or whatever. But I like 300K market cap. It's a solid number. So cool stuff there. Of course, not financial advice on my end. Lastly, I would kind of ask, I mean, obviously you're working here with us and Gandalf and, getting your name out there in these AMAs, but what other long-term strategies do you have for marketing? And also, what are your current metrics? Do you have any other tokens or projects using the bot currently? I would love to hear kind of some of the breakdown of where you're at with adoption and where you're going.
For sure. So for X-Rate, hold on, let me actually, I can look at the stats. So let me just take a quick look right now. It'll take me 2 seconds. We are in, oh wow. We are in 20 group, 15,000 eyes on us. 15,000. I don't know. I have to go through this and see who just added us, but we were only at like 9,000 yesterday. So I thought I was about to tell you 9,000. 15,000 people. So it's growing. Like I said, like a snowball, right? It slowly rolls down the hill, but once it picks up speed, you're not stopping it. So yeah, 15,000 members. So it's not massive, right? I mean, I'm proud of it. I don't know, I don't know what anyone else thinks, but I'm proud of it. For where we are right now and where we're 50,000 members is a great start. If only 1% of all of those members decide to invite X-Rate into their group because they like how it works, the snowball's working. So those are the metrics on the bot. Marketing wise, we just applied for our gold check on our gold check mark on Twitter. We're going to see how that goes. We have a 30-man raid team coming on board that our man Gandalf suggested, so we'll be using them. We're going to be doing lots of Twitter raids, right? Because that kind of flexes X-Rate in itself. We're going to be doing a whole lot of Twitter raids to try to gain our exposure, and AMAs. I feel like talking like this, especially when the host is just as good as the Coinmerge host is here today, the passion gets felt about the project, and the message is well received. So I feel AMAs are the way to go, as opposed to just a caller that's going to write up a paragraph and put you in his Telegram channel. I like AMAs. I like getting to talk to people. The whole turns into a holder. So AMAs are the way that we're going for marketing. We're going to do massive raids and AMAs. Like I say, we're in the 30-man raid team to help with the raid exposure. But we feel like with X-Rate already in 15,000 groups, right, our own little marketing that we've here is going to start rolling. So.
Nice, man. Sorry, I was just looking through these mic requests to see if our other project was coming up here. No, I've absolutely invested in projects because of the bullish AMAs and because of I've heard, basically what I want to hear as an investor, because I wouldn't be in the DeFi space if I wasn't an investor myself. And in addition to that, it also kind of gives you some kind of connection to the people behind the project. A call in a channel, you go, okay, maybe I'll buy it, and then if it 2x's, I'll just get out because I've got no emotional attachment to any of the owners, and I haven't actually heard in detail the passion and the long-term plans behind the project. And you guys obviously have worked really hard to look at the competition, to look at the market out there, and figure out ways in which you can capitalize on market share by adding things that other people haven't. So a lot of good stuff, pretty bullish project overall. I see Dylan requesting the mic. I think he is, one second, let me just see where he's from. Oh yeah, that makes sense. He's from Pavertize. Okay, so are there any other closing notes that you want to leave off with investors, or just kind of any calls to action that you want them to make? I have pinned up multiple tweets, so the first one I'll make is to make sure you throw a follow on Xtract. Second avatar over there, just click them. It won't take you out of the space. Throw them a follow. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. They're up here working hard, presenting and spreading information. Any other calls to action that you guys have?
I would say, yeah, give us a follow, join our community, come check it out for yourselves, right? Don't take our word for it. Just, come and do your research. And if you do your research, I'm sure you'll be happy with what you see. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, because we're here to answer them and we're here to build for you guys. So any suggestions, there's never a stupid one. You don't even have to buy. You just come and give suggestions, and you might see your suggestion get implemented and then become a buyer. I just want to say a big shout out to Gandalf for bringing us iron coins as well. You guys are absolute beauties, and I super appreciate you guys for everything you do for the space. And I guess that's where I would leave it. I appreciate your time, letting me talk about Xtract. I hope you enjoyed listening to today, and that we view you in the future. Cheers.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm a sucker for utilities, and you guys are pumping them out left and right and at high quality. So I'm excited to go check out the spot myself. See if we want to add it to our groups and things of that nature. I'm always down to try out new utilities, and I would also encourage people to not be afraid to try out new utilities as well. It costs you nothing to check out a Telegram bot, see how it works, see if it could be of use to your project. So definitely get in touch with Xtract. Again, everything I believe at this current stage is free. That's available right now. So correct me if I'm wrong there. But if any,
no, the web app is holders only, right? Until we go subscription.
Right.
And
That's what I'm saying. Everything that's currently available to the public is free.
To the public, yeah. Anything that's available to the public is free. Absolutely, yeah. If you can access it publicly, then it's free. If you can't access publicly, it's holders only. And one other quick thing, boss, I wanted to offer you 3 access codes, 2 weeks long, a gold, a silver, and a bronze. And this is for the web app and the Telegram bot, right? This is full access for your community. You can give it away at any time, but I wanted to offer you guys 3 access codes because it's been so nice and generous to the Xtract team. So yeah,
no problem, man. That's also good marketing and stuff. So feel free to DM us, and we'll make sure to oblige. Dylan, are you here to represent Paterverse? Dylan, mic check. Anyway, thanks again to Xtract for joining. Appreciate if you stick around, but no worries if you can't or have to drop out halfway through or whatever. But appreciate having you on here and did the project interview. I, again, pulled Dylan up here, but I'm not fully sure if maybe he's representing Paterverse, but he's got the logo. That's all I know. He requested the mic. Looking for Deep Six Marketing, potentially? Maybe they're here. I threw him the speaker request. I'm just taking guesses at this point because
you are correct.
They had some.
Sorry about that.
I made it.
Issues
We
with
did it.
logins.
Hey, no worries. Deep Six Marketing. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining on here.
Yep.
I know that we couldn't. Sorry, we couldn't push this thing back to 3 p.m.
Oh,
but
no, it's no problem.
Okay. So first things first, I'd love to get a little background on you. Obviously, this isn't the main account for Paterverse, so maybe a little bit about Deep Six Marketing and you, and I assume you're representing these guys, and maybe a little bit of backstory on yourself.
Sure. Yeah. So I kind of got involved in my name's Ian. I'm the COO of Pavertize. So I am, part of the team, not just representing them. But essentially, my story kind of starts in 2013. I first discovered Bitcoin. I was really young at the time, so I didn't really understand it too much in the beginning. But over time, around 2014-ish, I started to get involved a little bit more. I was really big into poker. Even though I was young, I just loved poker. And I sucked. So I would lose all the time, and I would have to go buy more Bitcoin. And every time I would go buy it, the price would just go up. So I was like, okay, well, might as well just buy this stuff and learn about it because it just keeps growing. If I want to make any money, I'll just hold that. And then I tried to figure out ways I could work in the industry so I could, obtain more Bitcoin. And so what I did was I had a person-to-person service where I was essentially just a broker, because back in the day, not many people trusted the exchanges, and a lot of them were scams. So they would rather just work with someone directly. So I would have a markup price, and then I would sell the Bitcoin to them directly through PayPal or whatever, Zelle. I guess Zelle didn't really exist back then, but whatever means necessary, cash. And then I would just buy Bitcoin with that profit. So I knew that business model wasn't really going to work forever, because if everything continued to grow, it would, essentially people would just be using, more established exchanges and other means. So I kind of verted into marketing with projects, doing whatever I can, doing white papers, literally everything under the sun, just learning about the industry and learning what new projects are kind of coming in. So that was during, the first set of ICOs, and then all that stuff happened. So from there, I just kind of grew the marketing side and started a little bit, of a business and just work with new projects. And then I always wanted to make my own. So it's kind of how we went full circle into this. And especially with the digital advertising arena, it worked really well with, kind of my background.
Cool, man. Thank you for that background. Well, I think that kind of leads us to talk about Paterverse. I'm kind of curious what all that they're doing. Obviously, there's the connection with the advertisement that they do, but why don't you give us a full top-down explanation of Paterverse? What is it all about? A little bit of the history and narrative of how it got started and where it's at now.
Sure. So it kind of got started through, I was doing some typically I don't do, or I guess, a couple of years ago, I didn't do ads. So I would learn about them and how to run ads and those kind of things. And it is a nightmare to deal with. That's the first thing. It's like if you go through Google Ads, it's like a full degree that you need to be able to run, specific ads to target certain people and um, those kind of things. So I always wanted a place where something can be simple, just a really simple thing where all companies can come and do it themselves rather than hiring somebody else just to run an ad. Because once you learn all the mechanics of the, Google Ads or whatever you're using, it's pretty simple, but just working around it is not simple. So we wanted to make a simple arena for these ad spaces where people can buy and sell them. And I thought attaching them, essentially tokenizing ad space, is a really, really big opportunity just because of the digital advertising space is so large as far as the market goes. So we have our token essentially, which is the kind of your access to the our dashboard and where you can buy and sell those NFT ad spaces. And then I think the real bread and butter of our ecosystem essentially is that creating ad space as an NFT. So you could, transfer them, buy and sell ad space if you're an advertiser, or, you want to show your advertising on a website. So, kind of mixing the decentralized blockchain side with the ad space is, really what we're doing, and creating an ecosystem where businesses and people can kind of align on the crypto side and show their ads. Because another big thing with Google Ads is you can't, on specific websites or platforms, you can't show certain content and a big one is crypto, like promoting crypto and those kind of things. So we wanted to make an ecosystem for all those people to kind of come together and be able to show their ads and be able to buy and sell them.
Awesome. So when it comes to Google, obviously they have a massive user base, an unbelievable user base. Where are the ads that you buy through Paytraverse going to be seen?
So essentially, the first thing we're going to do, because we have very long-term goals, we make money off, the token itself, so its own earnings. So we bring on partners, which is kind of the growth of our system. So a good example would be like Dex Tools, is we would go to them and say, we want to be able to put these ads on your guys' website, and then we eventually want you guys to be able to use your ads in our ecosystem. And so they could sell their ad space. Let's say they want to sell an ad space on their site for a 7-day lease. So they want to do it for 7 days, and we could turn that into an NFT. And then we can make it so if they want to do an auction style for that space, it could be a bidding war on our dashboard for that space, or they could sell it directly just as a buy now. If they have multiple ad spaces, they can sell that directly just through our site through crypto transactions. So if it's a cost per click, essentially you have a budget. They would have a budget. They want to do $100, let's just say, for sake of discussion. And then if it's a cost per click, every time that clicks, that USDT, if that's what they're using, gets withdrawn and then gets deposited into Dex Tools accounts because they're selling the ad space. So it's kind of a full ecosystem.
Yeah, it almost is giving me like Groupon vibes for advertisements. I don't know if that's like a decent analogy, but functionally you're becoming a hub that either mainstream, anyone from big and small, correct me if I'm wrong, other platforms can go and list their marketing slots for sale to increase their revenue and increase their sales for people that are visiting Paytraverse. They can choose to get an ad with Dex Tools if that's available, or if Coinmerge wanted to run ads on our platform through you guys, we could do so. And then I assume maybe that kind of brings us to, so that NFT gets sold. Now, what happens with that with the money from that? Is it previously agreed upon, or do you guys mark it up as you see fit? And then let's talk about what happens to that, the extra revenue that Paytraverse makes from those ad sales.
Sure. So that's a big part of the token is the reward system for it. So as all this is going on with the ecosystem and the partnerships between all these people, and we kind of create a community between business and investor, is there by holding the token, you get rewarded off of all of those different transactions. Very small percentage. We're working out the details, but it's not going to be like in a massive amount, just because we don't want to hurt the ecosystem as far as the people that should get paid for the ads. They still have to get paid, but having the tokens going to allow you to get some of those rewards, so you have that real utility that kind of people are looking for actually investing, which is pretty cool. You get really a part of the advertising business, essentially.
Nice. So you're not fully sure what the split is then, or is there not really split because you're paying out
now?
the tokens?
I don't want to say a number right now. We have one, but I just don't want to say it just because we have a math guy, and he's working it all out just to make sure that it's bulletproof. So I don't want to get people hyped up right away, but we'll definitely release it on our Twitter here soon.
Question, and for no reason at all, like what's his name says about Mint Mobile or whatever. Would you guys, for example, be able to sell, rather than simply banner ads or ad space like that? Would they be open to selling, for example, like call channels or AMAs like the one here today, those types of elements?
We absolutely could set that up. That's kind of just a small adjustment that we would do. But yeah, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I got a lot of them. All right. So what else can you tell me then? I guess we could segue. Well, actually, I do want us to know what stage of development this in. Is this live now? I went to the website for a little while earlier, although it's giving me a not secure on my computer. I was on it on my phone earlier. But can we talk about what stage of development you guys are in? And
Yeah, so we actually, our token is live right now. It's on BSC chain. Future plans is we are looking towards the Ethereum chain, but we're probably just going to make an extension there, mainly because we have to work out the microtransactions. Because if you're doing a cost per click and it's like 25 cents, we can't be spending $5 on a transaction because Ethereum is so expensive right now. So we have to be weary of that, but we are probably going to make an extension where, we're kind of on BSC and then we'll have different options as far as those getting paid out. But I'm sorry, what was your question? I lost track. What were you saying?
sorry, I was finally able to get to your site through my phone. I don't know why it's giving me not secure. Sites do that sometimes. They just or maybe it's just my computer that's doing it. But either way, no. I was asking what stage of development you guys were in for all of this. If you're fully live, you're fully ready.
Yeah, so our token is live right now, and our dashboard, because essentially we have a dashboard to handle all these different transactions. And like I said, the lease that we have, so if somebody's selling that ad space for 7-day period, it gets activated when it's kind of in the smart contract, depending on what they want. So we need a dashboard to be able to track that. So when people are buying and selling the NFTs on the secondary market, it needs to be known if that still has the lease left on it. So we need to make sure that we have within our dashboard, essentially like a scan that you can plug in your NFT to make sure it has its lease left. So we have a lot of long-term and short-term developments, but our short-term is the dashboard. We have staking right now. But there's a lot to come, a lot of development. I mean, we're always kind of moving, but our dashboard should be done in about a month and a half. It's a very big development, just because we're working on the UI to make it as simple as possible. Because, like I said, it's dealing with these crazy complications is just not fun to deal with, especially with ads. So. I would say about a month for our dashboard, and then our future developments just kind of go on forever. So we're really looking forward to it, though.
Awesome. I do want to talk a little bit more about the token. The token is live. When exactly did it go live? What has the trading been like so far?
So we kind of did a stealth launch. We had a pre-sale raise of 200,000, mainly just for liquidity purposes. And our first plan was going to just sell the token as a pre-sale to the public. But then we decided the best way to kind of do it and, to have full transparency is for us to solely fund all of our ventures through, the earning of the token itself. So we did a bit of a stealth launch, and we launched about a couple of days ago. And we're just starting our marketing campaign here with AMAs, PR articles, social media content, and, pretty much everything that goes into it. So we're about at the lowest price we'll probably ever see right now, just because we haven't really spoken too much about it. Obviously, there's a lot of reasons for that. We just wanted to make sure our development was a little bit further along, and we feel like right now is kind of the right time to break the ice.
Awesome. I asked X-Track earlier, but what is your current market cap?
I believe we're sitting at 10 million. I will check the exact number, though.
That's a big number.
Let's see.
And you guys raised $200,000 for pre-sale?
Yes.
That's
so we have
pretty big
90K in liquidity, and 10.57 total market cap.
Awesome. Do you guys have long-term plans to add LP or have any kind of systems or functions built in to help that ratio a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to release an article and some documentation on our splits with the token. So a portion of that revenue is also going to go into liquidity that I spoke about earlier. So it's kind of, when I say full ecosystem, it's a full interworking ecosystem. That's why we have to quadruple check things to make sure everything's right, because once it's set in stone, then it's set in stone. So we got to make sure that it's fully functional for the long term. So our burn mechanism and those kind of things that a lot of projects do is, when you actually look at the math behind it, they can't last really longer than like 2 years. So you got to make sure that everything's kind of working together when it's within an ecosystem.
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense, man. And obviously, tremendous start and tremendous influence and reach already. I was looking at the Deep Six not Deep Six marketing. I was looking at the Paytraverse main account, and it says it was started in 2012 and has 25,000 followers on it already. So I assume that that account maybe was repurposed or was another account in the past that had already built up a pretty big name to help propel Paytraverse forward really well early on.
So the account's an old account. It just has that on there. We couldn't take it off, and we actually spoke about that, funny enough, and we're like, should we just change the account, because it's like there was no or there wasn't many followers on it before. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't remotely close to the number we're at now. But yeah, we spoke about that. We're like, well, it says it's a really old account, but we just changed the name of an old account. So that's where it came from.
No, I think it's a good look. I think it's better off keeping it with all the I think because you got all the numbers. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Because when you look at a project and you see 25,000 listeners, at least, well, at the very worst, they're good at botting, and at best, they have a huge influence. But then you go look at the market cap and see like a 10 million market cap, and you're like, no, that kind of adds up. So it's like not botted. Right. So that's definitely a good reach and influence that you guys have. So you're kind of just beginning your marketing now. Do you guys have long-term plans for centralized exchanges or other like long-term marketing strategies that you have in mind?
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of the people that we're going to be partnering with, like I said, Dex Tools more on the decentralized side, but then we're going to start, once we build that up, that community of business up, we plan to go to exchanges and first offer them, our services and kind of get introduced like that, and then hopefully get our token listed on those exchanges.
Okay, cool. Anything else that you want to cover about Paytraverse that we haven't so far that I'm missing? We talked about the token. Sorry, was the token zero tax, or what's the tax on the token you said?
The token is zero tax right now, I believe. But like I said, once our ecosystem kind of gets established, those might be adjusted. So that's kind of, why we're just slowly leaking the information that we're live. But this is kind of the start. So yeah, it's definitely an opportunity here.
Lastly, are you guys incorporated, or what kind of strategies have you taken to ensure confidence to investors?
Yeah, we are. I believe we have a business set up in the UK from our CEO. I'll have to ask him about that. But yeah, we're kind of fully back. Once we raised that money, we kind of needed that those kind of elements. So we have everything. We'll make a post about that and maybe put it on our website here.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think people like to see that in general.
Definitely.
Well, sometimes they do. I mean, like there's pros and cons to being incorporated, but obviously the pros are there's that a little bit more legal backing, and it just shows a lot more legitimacy in terms of being really looking to do the right thing, which I think is big for a lot of investors long term.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, again, is there anything we didn't cover that you wanted to cover here?
I believe we have everything right now.
I mean, I guess I didn't ask about your CEO. Do you know much about him, or would you like to kind of talk about the team behind it a little bit? That's the only thing we didn't really cover.
We'll kind of have an introduction to that through our Twitter, just because, like I said, we've all been kind of low, but everybody's very experienced. Pretty much, I think I'm a little bit earlier than them. Not to brag, but they mostly started in I want to say 2015. So our teams, we have, 5 main guys, including me, and then a developer team. And then we have another contracted group that's kind of looking for, future development. So we could have a team working on, essential things right now while a team's working on long-term goals, which we think is really important for what we're doing, just because, we're looking for the long term. So, but we also understand that from an investor point of view, nobody likes that. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to have to wait. So we have 2 groups that are set up to, handle both sides to make everybody happy.
Yeah, it's obviously a careful balancing act, but you guys sound like you got it under wraps. Huge influence, huge, kind of pretty successful early on, and congrats on that early success as well as, I'm excited to check out the dashboard when it's fully live to the public, which he said I always just overestimate. So at a best, a month and a half.
Yep.
But
Yep.
that's kind of the timeline there. That's the goal they're shooting for. But obviously, this is a complicated web app, right?
Extremely, yeah.
If you're talking about NFTs and then validating and then putting up, client advertisements. Oh, I guess I could also ask this: Is it like decentralized when it comes to the listing? Will people be able to create accounts and list the ads they have for sale and automatically mint it as NFTs, or do they go through you and have to basically say this is the ad we're looking for?
It'll be automated through our dashboard so that they can just go and do that. So yes, essentially they could just go and mint them themselves, just because if it's solely relied on us, then we have like a full other business and it's not really, decentralized. So minting those NFTs are going to be through our dashboard. So like I said, it's a lot of development.
Yeah, I can tell, man. I've been in the development game here, not as a developer, but as kind of just like hiring developers and working with them and being a COO and all those things for a long time. And that type of utility you're talking about is definitely no joke. But I think that it's also the benefit to that is it's also not easy to recreate. It's not easy to rebuild. And so other projects aren't going to be able to, simply copy it or something like that because of how customized it is. And that kind of gives you an advantage. And that probably speaks to some of the high end of what the token valuation has to offer.
Right, exactly.
All right, fantastic, man. Everyone, please throw a follow on Deep Six Marketing and Payterverse. I combined you guys' names. If you scroll over all the way to the left, there's a Payterverse pin up there on the tweet. Click that. It says maximize your ad experience with Payterverse, rewarding you for clicks, interactions, engagement, etc., etc. So please, you can click that and throw a follow on Payterverse, as well as check out their chart, their Telegram, and everything in that. I do want to show and throw out another shout out also to Xtrack. If you haven't already, they're in the 3rd row down there. Throw Xtrack another follow. Thanks for sticking around until the end, and appreciate everyone coming on here on this AMA. 2 fantastic utility tokens, 2 unique utilities with unique features, and a lot of promise and success for both of you guys. And as always, thanks for Gandalf for coming on here. Throw him a follow. And if you like what you heard here today, throw Coinmerge Technologies Incorporated a follow, top left corner right there. And if you're interested in working with us, either for advertisement or crypto data or anything that you need in crypto, pretty much, come to us and we'll help you find. If we can't provide it for you, we'll help you find it. We've interviewed tons of projects who have tons of different utilities, and so we do like to connect people and help all these businesses thrive so that we can do what we want to do best, which is push DeFi forward. We want to make decentralized finance mass adopted and and grow all of our bags and wealth in the process, but also show the world that this technology is not going anywhere. And the 2 projects that presented here today are a perfect example of the innovation within this sector. So again, keep a follow on Xtrack, throw a follow on Payterverse, and looking forward to following these guys and their utilities as they come out. We can do follow-up AMAs, get you guys on utility showcases and things of that nature. Catch you next time. We're signing out here from Coinmerge.io.